The night was torn apart by lightning. Waves crashed against the shore, and the wind howled like an angry spirit. Amid the storm, a child was born. As he opened his eyes, fire flickered in distant mountains. The earth trembled softly, and the sea seemed to bow. The elders looked at one another in awe. "The Avatar has returned," one whispered. But the world he was born into was already wounded. Nations that once lived in peace now burned in endless war. The Fire Nation's armies marched like shadows across the land, crushing villages and spreading fear. Balance had been lost, and the child who would one day restore it was still too young to understand the destiny waiting within him. Years passed. The boy grew curious, restless, feeling the pull of something greater. Every night he dreamed of storms, of light and darkness locked in eternal battle. He didn't yet know that the storm was his calling. When he came of age, he set out on his journey, guided only by the whispers of fate. His first path led him north, to the icy lands of the Water Tribe. There, under skies painted silver by the moon, he met an old master named Kailan, whose eyes carried the calm of the ocean. "Water is alive," said the master. "It listens, but only to those who listen back." The boy tried, again and again, to bend the water, but it slipped through his fingers like laughter. "It doesn't obey me," he shouted in frustration. "Then stop trying to control it," Kailan replied. "Flow with it." For nights he sat beside the frozen sea, staring at his reflection. Then one silent night, when the moon reached its peak, something inside him shifted. He stopped forcing. He breathed. He felt. The waves began to rise and dance around him, responding to his heartbeat. For the first time he smiled, not in victory, but in peace. The water had listened. His journey continued south to the Earth Kingdom, a vast land of stone and dust where mountains pierced the sky. His teacher there was Master Taro, a warrior whose voice rumbled like thunder. "The earth does not move for the uncertain. Stand your ground, root yourself." The boy trained for weeks, striking boulders until his hands bled, shouting until his voice broke. The rocks never moved. "It's useless," he cried. "The earth won't listen." "Then stop asking," Taro said calmly. "Command it." The boy stood, trembling, bruised but determined. He clenched his fists, drove his foot into the ground, and shouted from the depths of his soul. The earth shook. The boulder before him cracked and rolled aside. For the first time he felt solid, unshakable. From stone he traveled to flame. The Fire Nation burned bright and wild, its volcano spitting light into the sky. His next teacher was Lady Sura, whose eyes blazed like coals. "Fire is hunger," she warned. "It will consume you if you lose control. But it is also life. Find its rhythm." He tried, but the fire bit him, burning his skin and pride. "It hurts," he cried. "I hate it." Sura's voice was sharp. "Then it will always hurt you. Fear feeds it. Calm it, and it will serve you." At dawn he stood before a volcano, the ground trembling beneath his feet. He closed his eyes, inhaled deeply, and exhaled with purpose. Fire rose from his palms, not wild, not angry, but alive. It danced with him. "Good," Sura said softly. "You no longer fight the fire. You are the fire." His final journey led him high into the sky, to the temples of the air nomads, where laughter floated with the clouds. His teacher, Master Rian, met him with a smile brighter than sunlight. "Air is freedom," Rian said. "To master it, you must let go." "If I let go, I'll fall,"
the boy replied nervously. "And if you never let go, you'll never fly." They stood together on a high ledge, the wind whispering at their backs. The boy closed his eyes, took a breath, and stepped into the open air. For a heartbeat he fell, but then the wind caught him. He soared, weightless and laughing, his heart free. He had found trust, he had found balance. But as his light grew, a darkness deeper than night awakened. Born from hatred, greed, and endless war, a spirit of shadow began to rise. It whispered to kings, to soldiers, to the hearts of men. It fed on fear, spreading across the world like smoke. The Avatar felt it before he saw it. His dreams turned to nightmares, cities burning, oceans swallowing lands, skies shattering into fire. He saw himself standing alone before the end of everything. "I can't stop it," he whispered. "I'm not enough." The shadow answered, its voice echoing like thunder. "You are weak, you are nothing, the balance will die with you." He fell to his knees, trembling. But then, in the silence of despair, he heard the voices of his teachers echo in his mind. "Flow," said Kailan. "Stand," said Taro. "Burn with life," said Sura. "Rise," said Rian. He stood once more, the light returning to his eyes. "Balance," he said softly. "Balance is not power, it's harmony." The shadow rose over the mountains, covering the sky in black smoke. The nations cowered in fear. Alone, the Avatar walked into the storm, his eyes glowing with light. "You cannot defeat me," the shadow roared. "I am chaos." The Avatar's voice was steady. "I am balance." The earth cracked beneath them. Fire clashed with darkness. Waves rose to the heavens. The wind screamed. He moved with the grace of all the elements. Water flowed around fire. Earth rose through air. Fire danced with wind. He was one with the world. The shadow struck, its claws of darkness ripping through light, but the Avatar did not falter. He drew every element together, fire, water, earth, and air, into a single sphere that pulsed like a star. "This world belongs not to fear, but to hope." He released it. Light exploded across the land. The shadow screamed, shattered, and faded into dust. The storm broke. The sun returned. Silence followed, gentle, peaceful, alive. The Avatar stood amidst the ruins, exhausted but smiling. Children from every nation gathered around him, their eyes wide with awe. He knelt and said softly, "Remember, true strength is not in mastering the elements, but in mastering yourself." And as he walked towards the rising sun, his reflection shimmered across water, stone, flame, and air. His journey had ended, but his spirit remained. For every time the world would lose its balance, he would return. Because the Avatar is not just one person. The Avatar is the heartbeat of the world.